Hello and welcome to another video. In today's video, I want to talk about manifestation. I want to talk about making some changes. I want to talk about why is it so hard to really make changes? What is actually really stopping us? And I have so many people around me, and even including myself, I was looking out for this kind of tip as well, because let's face it, if I can make changes, if I can make my life better, why wouldn't I at least try, right? My name is Patricia, I'm a certified life coach, and if you're new to my channel, then I'd like to invite you to hit that subscribe button. Also make sure to have a comment below, because that is actually helping or making some interaction with me, with other people from the community, and it really helps to support my channel as well. Now with this, let's go. This can be really frustrating because you're trying to make some changes, and I'm really talking about you're dating all the time the same kind of guy, the unavailable guy, and you somehow realize, gosh, it's like I'm dating my dad or I'm dating my mom. I'm talking about fundamental things that you like to change, and somehow it seems to be stick to you. Well, it's actually not. But in order to make some changes, you have to start from the scratch and not from the end. And I realized so many times that when I tried to change the end, because I like to see another outcome while actually dating the same kind of person, didn't really do much. But then somehow I fell back to my old behavior. I always fell back, and I realized something is off. And I didn't really know why, because I was kind of trying hard to make it happen and it didn't. So what I realized is that we have to be way more self-aware, okay? When we start to create something new in our life that is not already known, we have to be way more present in this area, because the making or the changes are not coming automatically. The changes are done by you choosing different. And so our brain, though, isn't wired to do that, okay? Our brain will actually go back to the automated things. So when you're used to date someone who is emotional unavailable as a man or a woman, then if you are not careful, you're doing the same thing over and over again, because this is something that you are wired to. You're hardwired to that, okay? It even feels familiar. Now, what feels familiar feels also good to you. See, it's kind of trick, right? Because it feels good, and you then think, oh, but it really feels so good, so it must be good. You know what I mean? Have you ever experienced that? Write down in the comments. I'm really curious to hear that. Because what happens then is that you're meeting someone and it really feels super good, right? And you're like, if something feels so good, it must be good. That was always my understanding. I was like, must be good, right? I started to understand that that's actually not the point. The point is it's known. So I know that kind of pattern. I know that kind of belief. For example, I used to date people or men who, were not really putting me first. So I would always feel second, third, fourth, or even last. And it's a trait that I known for many, many years. And so if then that person shows me a little bit of attention, I would be like, "Aw, that's so sweet," But I wanted something different. Yet I couldn't quite figure out how to do that. Because when you are in your rut and you are not seeing that that's exactly the same that you had before. So make a change, okay? Make a change and understand that that's not really what you're looking after. It's familiar. You're hardwired to do that. You're hardwired to find those kind of people attractive, for example, because they remind you on some certain thing. In my case, it reminded me on family patterns, right? It reminded me on how I got treated, and therefore it felt familiar. And what feels familiar feels good, kind of thing. You see? Even though you know that's not what I want, you're still going after it because it kind of feels good. It makes you feel good. But it's not the feeling good which comes from here. You see what I mean? It's kind of like your cells. You're here. You know that feeling, right? You know that that's something you know, so it must be good. But just because you know that doesn't mean it's good. Okay? There's a huge, huge difference. So understanding that first. Now this can of course happen when, I don't know, you're doing the same kind of job all the time. Okay? And you keep trying to find something else, but you're applying for the same kind of things because, you know, that's what you do, right? And same thing applies. What I realized is that there are a few steps that you can do that aren't so hard. And I'm going to reveal them to you right now. So the first step actually is, I would say, really about 80%. You see, it's about 80% to understand that the presence you are giving a situation is super important, because if you're just letting go and if you're just being on autopilot and just, you know, whatever comes along and you're really reactive, you will react the same way as you are always doing. So a change will not come from that kind of place. Okay, so you have to remind yourself to be more mindful. Does that make sense? Number two, you start to realize that you are worthy of whatever creation you're looking after or you're looking for. What does that mean? Have you ever received a compliment and you can take the compliment because you felt kind of like, this really feels weird, you know? Are you someone who cannot take compliments, or you're going all over the place and you're like, I know, you know, not like that. I mean, can you genuinely receive a compliment and you're just saying thank you? You know what I mean? Receiving it here. Can you? Because if you can't, how do you think that you can receive something else? See, we are trained sometimes to not taking compliments. And I've experienced it as well, and many other people, that when you're complimenting someone, it's kind of like it feels awkward. Or the other person who is receiving it feels awkward because it's kind of like, I don't know what to do with that. You know, I'm told, or I learned, that being all over the place and feeling this kind of attention is not what I should feel, or is not something that I need to or should accept because I'm not worthy of that, or this is normal. That was my statement. You know, it's normal to work like this, so it's not really a compliment. So, you know, it's normal to work a certain way, and when someone is complimenting you, you're like, eh. You know what I mean? You get that? So it's the understanding that when you're born, okay, imagine this, you're born. Do you really raise the question, hey, am I worthy to be fed, or am I worthy of your attention? No, no. A child is just going and getting it, you see? A child will just do whatever she or he can to receive that attention. And that's something that you need to remind yourself of. If that has changed, like from inside, that you're not worthy to receive, then go back to that state when you were a baby. Love is unconditional. It's not based on achievements. It's not based on, you need to do something to get it. It's another trait that I used to really have. It's the idea that I need to show my value because only then I can receive love. So understand what is your trait, understand what is your belief, understand why you feel a certain way. Now that's where the changes come in. And so understanding that part is really, really crucial. The third one might be a bit awkward, at least at first. Because what you're going to do is you are going to take a paper and you're going to write down what you have always wanted to hear from your parents. It's super, super crucial. And then you're actually going to read that out loud into the mirror to yourself. Try that for the next 21 days. Try it out and see how this is actually impacting you. Now you can tell me, yeah, but then I'm lying to myself. Let's get to this shortly. What you're going to do is you're going to say things that are actually helpful for you, which is like, you're really adorable. You're such a smart kid. You're such a beautiful woman. You're doing such an excellent job. I love to be around with you. Things like that. Things that support you, that are in your highest good. Okay? And that's something that you are saying to yourself into the mirror directly every single day, 21 days. And then let's see how this goes. Now, let's go back to, but this one feels really weird and you're lying to yourself. Well, you know what is the truth? You're also lying to yourself, because what you're doing is you're saying to yourself all the time that you're not worthy of more. You're telling yourself that you are stupid, that you are not smart, like all of those things that are really pulling you down, which is actually a lie. Okay? It's a lie. And so if you are doing that, and if it has such a big effect, don't you think the other way around works as well? I think so. So try it out. Don't think too much about why and all those things. Just try it, do it, see how it works. Because that's how changes are working. It's about not getting too much in your head, going more into the heart, trying it out, being consistent, and see where this takes you. It will help you. I promise you it will help you. You're doing the best you can for yourself always. And so even if you are in a rut, or if you're doing something all over the place every single time, again and again, and you're like, gosh, I just can't make it. Believe me, you can. You just need the right strategy to do that. And so if you are interested in one-on-one coaching, then have a look into the description box as well. That's exactly where we will work. So we will look into where you stand right now and where you want to grow. Okay, and in between, you will have some homework as well. Within the sessions, you will have some homework that will help you and support you to even move further than your actual goals. Okay, consistency is key. That's number one. And so if you really are interested in making some changes and really changing your life, that's where I come in, and that's where I would love to help you. So have a look into the description box, and we see each other soon. Ciao.